All right, you guys, welcome to another Minute Against Nonsense. Just read the headline on this thing. It's disturbing, so we're gonna get into it. Just to kind of get a read on what's going on in the world and how we should be as men against nonsense. The headline is: Pregnant woman killed, set on fire by brother after baby shower. Insane.
Developing now, authorities have made an arrest in the death of a pregnant woman who was murdered and set on fire in Northwest Fresno. Her own brother now in custody, accused in the crime. Thanks for joining us for Action News Live at 5. I'm Vanessa Vasconcelos.
And I'm Warren Armstrong. Action News reporter Brittany Jacob is live downtown at the Fresno County Jail tonight with the
Now, what could make you want to set your own sister on fire? And I'm gonna tell you, I love my sister, and she does some things that I don't like. But she's never done anything that would make me want to set her on fire. On fire. We have to rule our emotions, man, because we're not doing good. It's a lot of biological men out here harming these women because their feelings get hurt. And that's not a man against nonsense thing to do, to let your feelings rule you, cause you to hurt another man or a woman. It's ridiculous.
new and disturbing information on this investigation. Brittany?
Well, good evening, guys. The family members have just confirmed that Nakaya was 8 months pregnant with baby Noah. And now comes right after the family just threw her a baby shower over the weekend. Now, 2 lives have been cut short. And we want to warn you that this the details.
Oh, let me say this. Notice how it's oh, this one will get me in trouble for this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Notice how there are 2 lives lost in this case, but in other cases we just call it a right to choose. I'm pointing it out. Because I'm a man against nonsense. Or we ain't just gonna power through that. We're gonna identify nonsense when we spot it.
In this investigation can be very disturbing.
To that possible 1144 in a field, they at Cornelia, 4488 North Cornelia, they have the victim apparently set on fire at this time.
Around 12:30 on Tuesday afternoon, Fresno police and fire responded to this dirt access road for a report of a dead woman set on fire. Authorities have now confirmed the victim is 26-year-old Nakaya Logan, who was pregnant at the time of her murder. The suspect, her own brother, 41-year-old Aaron.
Look at this mess. 41 years old, picking on a 26-year-old woman. Young woman. Ridiculous.
Dudley. Police Chief Paco Balderrama says it's part of an unsettling trend.
As a police chief, I find this horrific. And the fact that we've had, 5 babies murdered in this fashion the last year is something that keeps me up at night.
Detectives believe Logan and her unborn child, baby Noah, had been stabbed numerous times. They say that stabbing happened just a few blocks away from the home Logan shared with her mother and brother. This is not the first time authorities...
Now, see, here lies the problem. 41 years old, you're still living with your mom and your sister. You should have had your own residence. See, no one can get on your nerves and you can say, look, you know what, I'm going home. Not to say that was the incident that took place, but just think about it. You have a disagreement with your mom or your sister, you can say, I'm going home. I don't have to stay here and listen to this. I disagree. And I'm going home. I'm going home. But he lives with them. Well, he lived with them.
Were at that home. About a year and a half ago, they took Dudley on a 72-hour hold after being deemed a threat to himself and others. Police say this time when they arrived, Dudley was trying to cover up the murder.
But this is a person who had the wherewithal to try to clean up the evidence, try to dispose of the body, ran when the police came to knock on the door to see what was going on. So this is not somebody who...
I mean, everything about this just appears awful because, I mean, you're talking about they already, pretty much had him on a watch list. And yet, he was still living there with his mom and his sister, knowing he was volatile. Where were the rest of the men in the family? I guess is my question. Where were they? This is nonsense, man.
Does not know what he's doing.
District Attorney Lisa Smitkamp says she anticipates her office to file 2 counts of murder because of how far along Logan's pregnancy was. That would make
Yeah, so if she was less far along, it wouldn't be considered as 2 murders. See all it's nonsense all around this thing, you know. Let's throw the book at him when it's convenient for us, right, to make a statement. But somebody else can choose if it's baby was a little bit younger. But I'm not even here for that. But since they keep making these points, I have to point it out because I point out nonsense. I have a no nonsense policy, and you should too.
Dudley eligible for the death penalty.
Now, the family today, they told me they are completely grief-stricken. And while they did not want to go on camera, they told me that Nakaya was a beautiful spirit. She was loving, very kind.
Anyway, listen, men, get out of your parents' house. Get out of your parents' house. If you have an emergency situation, I understand, but it should not be permanent. You should not be living there. You should not be emotionally triggered by statements from women or men for that matter. You should rule your emotional standpoint and positions. You should be able to have a lively debate without turning aggressive. Want to harm someone because you can't make your point or you seem to be losing said argument. That's weak. You are not a man if you do that. Get out of your parents' house. Get out. Stop being a dependent little boy. That's all I got to say to that. Be a man against nonsense all the time, every time.